Caribbean American News Media, your Tuesday night power hour. Live every Tuesday at 8:15 p.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and GVV TV channel 115. Join your host, Garfield Oliver, as he dives deep into the latest inclusion developments, regional affairs, and global issues that matter to you. From politics to the economy, community stories to international headlines, we cover it all with real talk and real insights. Stay informed, get the facts, be part of the conversation. Don't miss out. Set your reminders, share with your friends, and tune in. Caribbean American News Media, the news you report. Caribbean American News Media, your Tuesday night power hour. Live every Tuesday at 8:15 p.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and GVV TV channel 115. Join your host, Garfield Oliver, as he dives deep into the latest inclusion developments, regional affairs, and global issues that matter to you. From politics to the economy, community stories to international headlines, we cover it all with real talk and real insights. Stay informed, get the facts, be part of the conversation. Don't miss out. Set your reminders, share with your friends, and tune in. Caribbean American News Media, the news you report.
They stream the tears and the cheers so clear. From the church to the pitch, they're always near. Tie the knot or score the got you till the end. They stream the highs, they stream the lows, from wedding vows to final shows, through life's twists and the path it bends. GVD's there, it never ends.
Welcome to the Caribbean American News Media Show, your premier destination for in-depth coverage, engaging discussions, and entertaining segments showcasing the rich tapestry of Caribbean American culture. Join us as we explore a wide range of topics, from current events and community spotlights to arts, music, cuisine, and more. Our show features exclusive interviews with influencers, artists, community leaders, and everyday heroes who are making a difference in the Caribbean American community. Stay informed and inspired with our thought-provoking segments that highlight the diversity, resilience, and creativity within our community. Tune into the Caribbean American News Media Show for a captivating blend of news, entertainment, and storytelling that celebrates the Caribbean American experience. Get ready to discover new perspectives, celebrate successes, and connect with the heartbeat of the Caribbean American community. Don't miss a moment of the action. Stay tuned to Caribbean American News Media Show for an immersive viewing experience like no other. Hashtag Caribbean American News, hashtag show, hashtag cultural celebration.
Well, a special good night to all our viewers here on Caribbean American News Media platform. Folks, how are you doing? Well, guess what? It is Tuesday night. That is Caribbean American News platform. Yes. We are live on the air. We are live on our YouTube channel and our Facebook page. Now, the YouTube channel seems to be heading up to 400 views, and we are still growing on our Facebook page. So thank you so much for being here with us, those of you who are viewing via our YouTube channel. Special good evening to our viewers over there in Antigua and Barbuda, over there in Guyana. We also big up those of you in Trinidad and Tobago. Throughout the entire region, we want to welcome you to the platform. And over there on our Facebook page, I want to give a special shout out to Mandy Fulgence. Greetings to you, my friend. Hope all is well. Also Lydia Francis, and also my Dudu Lawrence Guy Tribute, because we'll go create in a long time. And Sophia, greetings to you. Sabina, greetings to you. Norley, greetings, my friend. Let me see if I can go on. Heather, good night to you. Justin, greetings. Rosemary, how are you? Greetings, Alexander, greetings to you. Flora, Sagafet, Dudu. Maria, greetings. Rosalind, Martin, Roseman, greetings to you and all our beautiful viewers. Those of you who are viewing via our GVD TV, that is Flow Channel 115, we want to welcome you. To my friend over there, Mr. Soto in Dennery, special good evening to you. Please share the live and tag a friend. We encourage you. And also we have Veronica and Earl Lewis, my friend. Earl Lewis, I'm praying for you, and I see God is faithful to you. So greetings to you. Curtis, how are you, sir? Greetings. Share the live and tag a friend. We have Prince. How are you? Prince. Loris here says, well, hey, Dudu, you all right. We're good. I'm just so busy. Oh, no, my friend. Good evening, my brother, and all our beautiful viewers. Continue to share the live and tag a friend. We are here. I was not planning to be here. Hey, my brother, Cohen. Greetings, brother, and Martin. Greetings. Yes, so I was not planning to be here because I was out of state. I came back yesterday, and I went to assist an event at in Brooklyn. For the first time in my life, I passed through the Brooklyn area at that time, and it was something to behold in Brooklyn. It was something. Mathray, greetings to you, Lord. For the first time in my entire life, I've been into Brooklyn on a, whatever you call it, Memorial Day, whatever it was. I don't know. On Monday, that was yesterday. It was terrible. I got hell to get in, and it was hell to get out of Brooklyn. I have never seen anything like this. I end up, folks, turning some the floats, the bakes, and burning myself. I have a few burn marks on my hands. Whole conway pabo because I burned up my hands frying some bakes. But I met a lot of beautiful people, and I am not into bacchanal and all those things, as you would know, folks, and so it's not my thing. But I want to thank all of you, those of you who I met. Thank you so much for your warm greetings. And to our brothers and sisters in Guyana, we're going to touch on Guyana in a bit. You have some developments there in your country. Chad King from Guyana, greetings to you. Peter, greetings. Okay, GBD's not on as yet. Greetings to you. And yes. Kawal from Guyana. We have a lot of Guyanese over there in the house. Guyana. And Guyana is saying over there, Afan and the entire PPC party and all supporters. Okay, so we're going to look at what is happening over there in Guyana shortly. Lambert Smith, Dennery South is in the house. Dennery South has a new rep, I heard, that is loading in the Dennery South area. We're over 400 viewers on our YouTube channel, so it is outpacing our Facebook viewers. And I suspect because of our technical issues last week with the Facebook channel, most of our people have switched over to the YouTube channel. There's a lot of excitement on the Facebook channel. YouTube is more mild and, calm and easy as the wind blows. Curtis Stephen, greetings to you. Myra Sipal, greetings. Let me know, folks, where you're viewing us from so I can big up your country. I just saw we had St. Lucia, Dennery South in the house. And Aubrey says, frying bakes. Lol, yes. Frying bakes. And it was trouble to get out. Veronica, good evening to you and everyone in the chat room. Yes, this is the real class. And my friend, Bravo, greetings to you. I bet so. Man, you guys are beautiful. And what I saw was SLP UWPs, just people being people. Not all the drama and everything else. People just relating to each other. And we have Texas in the house. Texas, Mathrin, greetings to you. James, greetings. Yes, so Texas is indeed in the house. Mathrin, greetings to you. Good night from Guyana. Yes, we have Lane, Godfrey Haynes. Lane, greetings to you. Where are you from, Bobby's or East Demerara? I've been to Guyana once. Yes, once. Okay. Catherine, my friend, how are you? Yes, good. Good to have you. And then Antoine, greetings. Anthony, greetings to you from Swazel. I don't have the regular glasses on, so bear with me. I just can't find the glasses. Every time I go to camp and come back, it takes me a few days to get my stuff. But I'm hoping that my other pair of glasses is somewhere. Vancouver, yes. Vancouver, greetings, Coven. Yes, Curtis. Southeast Castries, Southeast. That is Curtis Stevens. Sounds like your rep is also in Loading, and that is the Honorable Guy Joseph over there. Hey, look, my friend Laurel. Hippolyte, greetings to you from Soufrière. Soufrière is always in the house, locked down. Keon, I don't know what country is that. I saw your flag. It looks like somewhere over there in Africa, but greetings to you. Thank you so much. And AP123 watching from New York. Anthony, greetings to you. Welcome aboard. All right, so let's get to work, folks, as you climb in. Let us know. Yes, Keon, you got to let us know. I don't understand the flag. It looked like a flag from somewhere over there in Africa. But just let us know, and we will big up your country. All right. And Hen says Calgary is in the house. Where is that? That's not in Lucia. That's somewhere in the United States or Canada somewhere. All right. So, folks, let's get cooking. Again, welcome to Caribbean American News Media Platform. I am your host, Garfield Oliver. Will take you through the night with your calls and your comments. We're going to have an open mic where I'm going to invite you to call from. I want to hear from the folks in Guyana, in particular. I want to hear from the people over there in Guyana. So, folks, Guyana went to the polls yesterday, and the results, all the numbers are in, of course, but the organization that manages, the agency that manages the election process in Guyana, I believe it's called GCOM. And GCOM, we have Valerie from Miko North. Miko North is also a rising star there in St. Lucia. So GCOM manages the election there in Joel is from Canada, PG. Good to have you. Yes. So GCOM over there in Guyana manages the process, the election process. And so we know that in the last 5 years we've had some issues there in Guyana when it comes to I believe modernizing the system and making it, something that represents transparency and everything else, and all the nice things that comes with managing an election process. We're talking about the democracy of a nation, and with the democracy of a nation, of course, you would want to have clarity in that process and equity in the process. You want all people to have access to exercise their franchise in any nation, any civilized nation. And so for Guyana in particular, all eyes are on Guyana because of the history with their politics. I think I really started following a little deeper the last elections, where I believe it is still in the court. The court had to get involved because there was all sorts of alleged corruption and violations and the whole works, everything that comes with one side winning and one side losing. There's always going to be one side saying corruption, corruption, corruption. It was not fair. And, that's just what the parties will do, especially if you are losing, an election. Now, for me, I have no horses in the ring, of course, but I stand with democracy and I stand with the people of Guyana. All right, we are one people. Whether you're Indian, black, white, pink, blue, we are all people, and we all deserve the freedom to vote, the freedom to discuss, the freedom of speech, the freedom of conscience, the freedom of everything that comes with us as human beings, just being free moral agents, just being free humans, to choose a party. Now, in Guyana, we got to look at Guyana, as I said, a little closer before. You realize I did not do my regular rant, because there's a lot of work to do tonight. So let's go over there to Guyana, and these are the two leaders, the two main leaders right now, and I'll show you some surprises over there in Guyana. I will show you some developing surprises in Guyana. I have a host of Guyanese friends, of course, and contact over there in Guyana. While I do not have major breaking news for Guyana, but we should watch this. Now, there's a lot at stake here in this elections, and I'm going to discuss for a few minutes some of the issues that the Guyana people face there in that country, and what we should expect at the end of this whole process of electing a president for all the people. And so we have Mr. Ali, who is the current president of that country. He is from the PPP, which is the People's Progressive Party. That is have a C, of course, /C, which is civic. And we also have some developing news that we got to monitor. So we have this gentleman, Mr. Mohammed, who is coming in new and fresh. And I want you to keep this name at the tip of your tongue, Mohammed. He comes in like a firebrand, of course, with a whole sort of baggage too, mind you. But he is from the WIN party. We invest in neighborhoods. That's the WIN party over there in Guyana. So these are the two main front runners. Now, in previous elections in Guyana, it has not been so. It has been, I believe, Mr. Well, he's out of politics now. Mr. Granger, who joined, I believe they had a coalition government type approach where you have a lot of different pieces of party coming together to form the government. And so the PPP party, I believe this is the Jack Dio party that is in office now. They are facing a hell of a fight from an area where they never expected this fight. Now, there's a party that a lot of people were watching and they were like, yeah, this is one of the main parties in the country. That is the APNU. The APNU, which is, was the opposition party in Guyana. But something strange happened there in the region, in Guyana, my friends. Here you have this young Mohammed fellow coming in, like I said, with a lot of energy. He comes with not only energy, of course, he comes with a whole lot of baggage, folks. So there is allegations against him. There is sanctions from the United States against him. There is all kind of vehicle story, and it was just a whole lot of what we call melee. It's like a cook-up rice in Guyana. You know what cook-up rice is. You put all your coconut and your peas and your rice and your different salted meat and different types of meat. Well, he comes like a cook-up rice to Guyana. While cook-up rice is delicious and everything nice, of course, this Mohammed guy came from the back of the line, straight from the back of the line. Are we together? Are you listening to what I'm saying? He came from the back of the line. He formed the WIN party with all his baggage. He ran over the APNU and the FC and the other smaller and maybe a bigger party, just ran over these guys and is now head on, or he's just running this race with no one behind him, of course, really, but shoulder to shoulder with the current president of Guyana, Mr. Ali of the People's Progressive Party. Now, this says a lot with our politics these days. People are looking for something different. That is the signal that we are getting in the region. Whether it's Ralph Gonsalves or Philip Juppé in St. Lucia, And over there, Mr. Holiness is holding his own, of course, and my prediction here is that Mr. Holiness over there in Jamaica will be declared the winner when the date, I believe, is today. Yes, today is actually elections down there, is it? I believe so. I got to confirm. But my prediction is Holiness will lose a few seats, but will hold on to the government there. Ralph Gonsalves will be defeated there in St. Vincent. These are just predictions, folks. Now, I am not God. These things can change. You know, they say, you can't run ahead and decide who is going to win. You're not God. But, you know, you can sense, and sometimes your senses fail you. But I am predicting here that Ralph Gonsalves will be defeated there over in St. Vincent based on trend from the last general elections, the one before that, and you can see a pattern. You can see every year, every elections there in St. Vincent, the opposition is getting closer and closer and closer and closer. So that's why I'm saying the Ralph Gonsalves administration will fall. So elections in Jamaica is on the 3rd, I believe, which is tomorrow. So these two predictions. St. Lucia, there is going to be, I would predict here on the platform that St. Lucia is going to be tete-a-tete. It's going to be a very, it is going to be a hell of an election in that country. And I have some idea in my head, but it is too early or too soon for me to make a decision on the one in St. Lucia. You got to look at pattern and trend over there in that country, all right? They don't play much with their governments. They throw them out quickly. They love them today and they hate them tomorrow. That's how the country vote. You know, ever so often they fall in love with you and then they say to you, well, sweetheart, I don't love you anymore, but you got to go, you know, and they puts another one in and they come back, you know, I didn't really love you, the infatuation, and so that's how the rigmarole happens there. But Guyana. Now let me tell you something about Guyana. Guyana is one of the fastest developing nation in the world. Guyana is on the map, the world map. Guyana is not a joke. Guyana has food security. Yes, Guyana has food security. As a matter of fact, Guyana can feed the entire Caribbean. They have achieved food security. Now, I got to dig a little more to see, you know, how the government was able to accomplish that. I know Guyana have always been an industrial place, factories producing stuff. They have always been at it. They are not new to being a proud nation. Guyana, friends, recently discovered oil on their shores, and that propelled them on the world stage. Guyanese are spread all around the world, and anywhere they go, they become productive. You have one or two that becomes little crooks when they go to people's country. Sticky hands and always in a corruption and nastiness. It is true. But I always run for Guyanese food, of course, especially on Hillside or in Brooklyn. Get your curry, all the little stuff, your pepper pot. I get my pepper pot every year from one of the church tenants there in Brooklyn. Always get my pepper pot. But let's just talk Guyana a little more. Beautiful country. When I went to Guyana the first time on a mission, I met some beautiful people at the market. There was a nice Indian lady at one of the meat markets. I think it was between Bachelor Adventure. I went to Bachelor Adventure, and there is this food market with meat and everything else, and that lady was so nice to us. And then the lady was able to cook in a big iron container thing outside, and she did fry rice in that thing, and she baked in an oven that she made with galvanized and everything else. And it was, you know, she baked chicken in that thing, and Guyana is a good place. But there is a lot more that can be done in that country. For a country that is so rich, that have accomplished food security, they are working on their health system. I believe they just opened a massive hospital over there. They are working for the development of their country. And I believe all parties have worked in Guyana towards the development of that country, but corruption have taken hold on some parts of the country, and that is true. The police, I believe, over there need to be more professional. They need to be more careful in their duties. There's just a talk of corruption, friends. And anytime you get corruption in a nation, then it robs the country of resources that is needed for real development, such as housing and education and medical and all the other thing, road infrastructure, bridges, and everything else. And I believe that whoever comes out tonight or tomorrow rather as the president of Guyana, I strongly believe that they will have a lot more that they will need to accomplish in that country to help especially the poorer families. And that is my concern, lifting the poorer families out of poverty. Is that true? Yes. We have also heard of racism in some sectors. I am not sure how broad that is in the country of Guyana, but you hear a lot about the level of racism between, I believe, the Indians, the black, you call it indigenous people. Guyana is a very large place, of course, and everybody can survive in peace and in unity. Everybody can get a piece of the pie in Guyana. There's no need for us not to have equity in that country. That country it's a powerful country, of course, and I believe that Mr. Ali was able to do some work there, but some of the Guyanese are saying, look, not enough, and we are tired of racism, we are tired of those things. We just want to survive. We just want to be free. We just want opportunities, just like the Indians, just like the blacks, just like the other people. We just want opportunities. We just want to survive. We want to feed our families. We want to work. We want to achieve. We want to have a good house. We just want security. We want to be at peace. That's what we want. And so Guyana would have gotten on the map, of course, with the oil, like I said. And we know once there's oil, you're going to have greed, you're going to have corruption, you're going to have a whole sort of nastiness popping up. But so far, Guyana was, they were able to, even during COVID, they were able to survive. They were able to just continue their growth without any major blow. But the elections has not been called in Guyana, but I believe all the ballots and everything has been counted, and very soon a declaration can be made by GCOM, the agency in Guyana. What is going to happen? It's going to be, now a lot of things can happen there. If, let's say, Mr. Ali and the PPP wins the seat, I believe, and I need to be guided here, I believe Mr. Mohammed, the APNU, the FC, WIN, all these people can come together and form the government, get the majority. I am not sure how it works in Guyana, but Guyanese at this time, this point, they have options. Let's say Mr. Ali wins the elections between tonight and tomorrow, and Mr. Mohammed becomes the opposition leader. It means that the APNU would have been dealt a massive defeat in that country. Areas where the APNU was strong, it appears as though the Win party came from the back, 6 months old party came from the back and gave that party a good whipping. That's what I'm seeing, folks. That's what I am seeing as I speak to people and as I get my intel. This is going to be something like a bloodbath in politics for the APNU. And I can be corrected by the Guyanese, of course. I heard that the APNU had some strong footing in I can't pronounce the name, Bob East, Linden, and those areas, that they had strong supporters there. But this Win party came offering something unique. Some people are saying, well, the Win came and they started distributing money, giving people money and everything else. That is why, listen to me, the election is the elections. And I understand and I know that the Guyanese people will accept the results, especially if it is confirmed to have been fair and free elections there. Then I would advise the Guyanese people to settle in and continue on nation building. Let me not say this now, of course. I want to give you the opportunity to soak in the advice that I'm giving you. If there is no real corruption in the election process, no this script, you're not too concerned, I would say to you, you continue on nation building. You have become a beacon of hope when it comes to food security in the region. Yes, Guyanese, you have a lot of good going for you. You are not a poor country. You are not a country that is begging other nations with your hand out all the time like smaller nations saying, gimme, 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 gimme. You're not a beggy country. If you put your resources to work and you try your best to weed out corruption and racism in your country, you are on the path of creating a country that will be an envy to the entire world. You have the right, you have good fish, of course, I must say that. You have good food. Your country is beautiful. Although I have not gone to your beaches, but Guyanese, you can't beat St. Lucia with beaches, of course. I must say that to you. I must give you a little pluck, we call it. But you have a beautiful country. And so I would love for the Guyanese people to call in. I'll open the lines so that we can get some idea. So what is happening in Guyana? And what are you expecting from a new government? Now, you're not going to have the same government, as far as I'm concerned. You're not going to look the same. Every elections, things change. Government learn from their mistakes. They make a lot of adjustments, of course. They make a lot of adjustments. Now, we have not got the official numbers from GCOM. Like I said earlier, GCOM is the agency that takes care of all the elections, the process and everything else. in Guyana. The number is 929-586-1821, and then I will head over to St. Lucia for me to have a little talk there on St. Lucia. But 929-586-1821. I'm going to read some of your comments, my Guyanese friends, and then we will attend to your calls. What is going on in Guyana? How do you feel about your country? And I think that you should be proud of your country. And as I said, food security is the number one reason that any country that can achieve food security can sustain themselves when it comes to food. Any country that can produce and export in large numbers, I say kudos to you, and we continue, of course, to push and to agitate our governments to do more. We have a healthcare crisis in the world. Governments should place a lot of resources on hospitals, on healthcare in their country. All right, so the number is 929-586-1821. Someone is calling me from a different number, but it's 929-586-1821 is the number. That number is, I think, over my head right here, of course. 929-586-1821. Someone is calling me on the other line. So let me just read some of the comments. I know you Guyanese you are proud people, and so you're proud of your country and everything else. So let me just read some of your information here, and then we'll go over to St. Lucia. All right? So Stadley Hamilton. The Hamilton, I know they're from Guyana, of course. And I'm also subject to correction. But I had a friend who was a singer in Guyana, living in the United States. His name was Hamilton. I think he wrote a national anthem or some national song in that country. I went over to Canada with him for a concert. His name was Hamilton. Okay? So let's read Hamilton. President Ali has built and is building 12 brand new state-of-the-art hospitals. So here we have some reports from Guyana that President Ali, who is from the PPP, has built and is building 3 brand new state-of-the-art hospital. And that's what I'm talking about. You got to build hospitals. And it's one thing to build hospitals, but we got to get the equipment, the expertise, especially when it comes to cancer, diabetes, and those things. We have a cancer pandemic in our world, and I don't know what just happened there, but something just blew up. Whoop. I don't know where that came from, folks. Just bear with me. Let me ensure that I'm not blowing up here in the studio, of course. Something just popped, and I don't know what it is. All right? Hope it's not our equipment that is blowing up. All right. All right, so he continues. 6 hospitals have already been opened. So 6 of the hospitals out of the 12, he said, have already been opened in that country. Let me ask you folks, Guyanese, what do you think of Mr. Mohammed coming from the back, basically 6-month-old baby, outing your opposition, the APNU? What do you say? Andrea says that's why he will lose. I'm not sure who she's saying will lose. All right, Stanley says, Clive, simply, you got to be kidding me. Pay a visit and see for yourself. Guyana don't live in foul cubes. Okay, so I'm not sure what is happening there. Someone says the people in the country is poor. Someone says Guyana has the best leadership in the Caribbean right now. Keep sending your messages. Stanley is giving us some numbers, and he's saying Guyana, okay, the PPPC has 56% of the vote. The votes. Win got 24%, and the APNU 18%. Those are unconfirmed numbers, Mr. Hamilton, because GCOM has not yet declared anything as of maybe an hour or two ago. Clive says people in the country is poor. Prasad says no, there is no real racism in Guyana. It's only when elections come around, then some parties try to divide the nation. Let's go over to our YouTube channel. This person is saying here on St. Lucia, I am not making any prediction. I never thought that the UWP in St. Lucia would lose the 2001 general election so badly, 12-2. Love says, not St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I didn't get that one clear. Let's continue to read your comments. Jewel, are you from Guyana? Jewel is saying the operation surgery department in the hospital in St. is completed. Is that true? Could you explain a little more your comment, Jewel? Marcia, are you writing from St. Lucia or Guyana? So she says the operation surgery department in the hospital in St. Lucia is completed. Is that true? I am not sure of that, okay? And Clyde is saying the man spent money and gave away money like water. Win lost by a big margin. So this is unconfirmed that Win has lost the elections. But you're saying that he spent a lot of money. And we got to do something about campaign financing in our region. I think it's open to corruption. I think it is open to corruption. Let me just see if my phone lines are up and running, folks. 995861821. You can reach us on WhatsApp in real time. All right, so we have some communication here. Let me go through them on our WhatsApp channel. So we have someone updated us on the Guyana situation. Please be advised that PPPC has won elections based on GuyCom tabulation. Only District 7 at 64% that need to be completed. Now, again, we have not received an official declaration from the GCOM office. So here we have some more information coming in. It says there the PPPC has held back celebration because they are waiting for GCOM to make the official announcement. PPPC won Region 1 to 6 and 9, with them leading in Region 7. So let me just read these developments once again. And this is for our Guyana brothers and sisters who are part of our platform here. And we have over almost 800 of our Guyanese folks over there on our YouTube channel tonight viewing, and we have some on our Facebook channel. All right. So let's go back to our WhatsApp. If you want to send any information over to us from Guyana, the WhatsApp number is 929-586-1821. So it says again, PPC, the PPP, 1 Region 1 to 6, 9, with them leading in Region 7. Based on what you're saying, individual, you say that there is a landslide for the PPP. That's what you're saying here. But we have not received any official confirmation. Okay, so we have some communication here. Mr. Garfield, I'd like to have a conversation with you sometime in regards to Guyana. It sounds good. Somebody wants to. Let me just do this. We're just doing this in real time. All right. Remember, our lines are open at 929-586-1821. Let's go back into WhatsApp, and then we're coming over to you folks. All right, so we have some communication here. PPP 1, Region 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, and 9. Out of the 10 regions, win 1, Region 7, and 10. Now, I want to ask you, Region 7 and 10, is that not a APNU? Those are not APNU seats? Okay, so we have some more communication here. They have won outright a minimum of 36 seats and will be awarded, they have won outright and a minimum of 36 seats will be awarded to the PPP. So this person is saying, and they sound like a supporter of the PPP, in Guyana they are saying that Guyana, the PPP has won 36 seats and will be awarded those seats by GCOM. Now remember, there is no confirmation from GCOM that anyone has won at this time. So Hamilton is saying this is correct. Region 7 and 10 have been traditionally APNU seats. All right, so that's a confirmation there. Again, that if what we're hearing is true, that the Win Party, which is a brand new baby, and sometimes we underestimate political parties, we underestimate people. Politics is very strange, and while you will believe that when you shout corruption at a party that they will lose an election, you are wrong. When you look, for instance, Mr. Mohammed, we're hearing got sanctioned by the United States. And look at what happened. It seems to me that Mr. Mohammed of the Win Party has taken over from the APNU, which is a party that has been around. So I am thinking that the people of Guyana or the PPP might have taken this gentleman for granted and believe that the corruption talk would have been just enough. You know, just don't pay him any mind. He has stuff on him. I don't know what is happening here. But Mr. Mohammed, a 6-month-old party, the Win Party of Guyana, has now taken over the lead from the APNU. As a matter of fact, it sounds like they had no lead in the first place, that the Win Party just ran over the APNU. That's what I'm reading here. So I would wait for the Guyanese people to call in or to continue sending us information. Okay, so we have some more here. Let me just get it in to the platform. I would like to have a discussion on digital transformation of Guyana digital economy next 5 years. Not tonight, but we haven't. Good. So reach out to me, the individual who's on the line here with me. We will talk after the show, and we can always work something out for you. Talking about digital, yeah. and the transformation there in Guyana. All right, so we have some more updates for Guyana, folks. And that is, in Guyana, we Indians and blacks are like brother and sisters. But this year, lots of black family see what the government did well. We have 9 state-of-the-art hospital. Just go to YouTube and you see the hospital. Free education university. So it seems like, some of the Guyanese are saying, look, we saw progress. Mr. Ali of the PPP did help, families, did help the nation when it comes to hospitals and infrastructure. All right, so keep sending your text and I'll read it online. 929-586-1821. You can also call, all right? So somebody's confirming that the APNU, that WIN really flogged the APNU. I don't know what was the problem with the APNU. I don't know what went wrong there with them, but in following the Guyanese politics, I thought that the APNU would have by now regrouped, reorganized, and would have been, focused on taking the reins of government over there in Guyana. But this new party, WIN, there's not a lot people know about WIN as far as I'm concerned. WIN is brand new, just born, 6 months, but yet performing like a party that has been in existence for many years. And we can compare what is happening here to St. Lucia. We have the opposition leader, Mr. Alan Chasney, that's the United Workers' Party, and we have the St. Lucia Labour Party. What you're hearing from the St. Lucia Labour Party is a lot of accusations of corruption, about he's a white man and blah, 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 and he can't lead the country, he's a failed opposition, and we win in 17 seats, and those type of careless talking. And it says to me that they are underestimating. And that is not something you do in politics. The Guyanese people can give us a lesson in that, because you have Mr. Mohammed, of course, who just got on the field and started kicking ball like crazy. And now he is right up there as a major party over there in Guyana. Is that true? Yes, it is. You can't run away from the facts. Now, you would like the PPP, you may like WIN, you may like the APNU. You have your preference, you have your choice, and that's your freedom. That's your right to choose. But the reality before us is that the APNU is basically not in play. And not in play because of a new party. So the region has a lot to learn from this Guyana experience, and I believe that political parties in the region would be looking at the WIN party, their strategy, even with the noise, like I said, a lot of noise surrounding them of corruption and everything else. But the WIN party was able to still focus on their goal, actually. And I'm not sure that I heard a lot of ideas and plans for the development of Guyana, of course, but they were able to convince the supporters of the APNU to come over, and I'm sure they would have drawn supporters from the PPP also. And this guy, Mohammed, looked like he would have pulled the younger voters. He looked like someone that would pull, he reminds me almost like Kenny Anthony back in the days when he first came on the scene. He, brand new, young, fresh, came in, just like him, like Mohammed, and I'm sure he would have been underestimated too. And he came and just swept St. Lucia and painted St. Lucia in all red, all red. So let me just continue to read some of your comments here. Win leader is a guy who fools people with his wealth. He have no degree in education. Listen when he speaks like a little kid. He is a scam, a fool, and fools the youth to turn away from APNU. It's sad. APNU is an old party, confirming what I said earlier without even reading the statement. I'm gathering all this just by me paying attention to the politics over there in Guyana. Let me just go over, take a little break from my WhatsApp, and I'm going to go over to our YouTube channel to see what is happening there. So let's pay some attention to Guyana people. So we have over there, Guyana has the best government in the Caribbean, massive infrastructure from borrowing and taking loans. Meanwhile, people are struggling in the country. So here we have another Guyanese is saying that there's a lot of borrowing in Guyana and people are struggling in the country. So this is one person saying, now look, now somebody's trying to get me and they're calling me from the wrong number. All right, so let me see if I can pull them over to our, just bear with me folks, we're going to be doing this live on the air. Somebody's trying to reach us. I'm not sure. This person might be from Guyana. Let me just see here. Bear with me. What is your area code in Guyana? 758? Is that your area code in Guyana? All right, so let's see if we can pull this in. Just bear with me. I'm trying to pull over a number from our WhatsApp group. Let me just pull it in so that you, the viewers, can have an experience here tonight, all right? So let me just, you know what, it is better for me to just text them the number 929-586-1821. All right. Bear with me, folks. This is the number to call. All right. Okay, bear with me. We have some new messages that just got in. We're going to read it. He is an idiot who is borrowing. Guyana have billions. Guyana code is 592. Okay, thank you so much. All right, so we have a call coming in. We're going to take this call. Caribbean American News Media Platform. Caller, you on the air. Caller, you on the air. Caribbean American News Media. All right, so bear with me, folks. We just have a lot of stuff happening at the same time. Caribbean American News Media, caller, you on the air.
Good night, Carter.
Good night. How are you?
How are you doing? Great.
Are you calling to contribute? You're live on the air.
Yes, so 11 years. Just concerning the election, I heard you got some information accurately, you know.
I did.
But yeah, definitely. But just some additional information concerning the election. Um, it's actually a new system of doing election. Guyana is good for rigging election, thieving election, and corruption and so. But this election was with a difference, eh?
It was different, right?
Because election was because the election finished yesterday, and by today, results, at least preliminary result, was able to be advertised on TV or on radio, because how they do it is that each polling station, they actually have the SOP, the statement of poll, and that is actually downloaded directly onto the system. So anyone in Guyana can go on that system, the website, GCOM website, and you yourself can see the result. You don't have to wait. You can actually do your mathematics and add the result. So that's a record. And that's good for democracy, not only in Guyana, but in the Caribbean.
So there was a reform with GCOM. There was reform there.
Yes, definitely. Because what happened, if you remember, 2020, the election call, and then there was a lot of corruption accusation on GCOM, and they took 6 months actually. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
In 2020.
That was an embarrassment.
That was embarrassment for not only Guyana, but the Caribbean and the Commonwealth. Yeah. And this time, the Carter Center is there, UN is there, the European Union is there, and CARICOM. There are almost 600 observers, international observers, which is good.
But the Carter Foundation was there in the last elections.
Yes. But what happened after the recount, because the opposition, which is the present government, was in opposition, and APNU was in charge. They was in power. And when the recount was mandated and they agreed for recount, they actually refused to accept the Carter Center, the UN, or the EU. For election, they were there. But after the election, results were tattering and the results was not coming. And then they asked for recount for this district and that district. So that took over 2 months. And when they finally agreed to the recount, the observers asked to return to observe the recount. They were refused. But what happened? Mia Motley from Barbados did a very, very good job. She had a team from the CARICOM, and she actually mandated and oversee the recount, which after the recount revealed that Ifan won the election. Well, it was close because he won 33, and the opposition with APNU, I believe, had 30 seats, and then the other, like AFC and Win was not there. This Mohammed guy was not there.
Yeah,
so it was a very close election.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it was a very close election. Well, after 5 years, the election was due, the election was called. But this Mohammed guy, remember, if you look at his record, he's actually sanctioned by the US.
Well, that's what
you
I was
heard that,
saying.
right?
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah. It was alleged corruption, smuggling gold through different countries in the Caribbean to the US. And US has records, so they actually sanctioned him. Because President Garfield, he cannot even open an account in Guyana.
Wow.
Because he's banned from that. No, he cannot.
But what policies do you have in Guyana to stop people like, if he was sanctioned or he was found in a court of law to have done something illegal,
well,
what is in place in Guyana to stop this type of thing?
Yeah, but you see, the thing is that they say that it's just allegation. It was actually proven. Yeah. So they're supposed to get a court case, and the U.S. supposed to them additional information, evidence concerning this gold smuggling and money laundering, and U.S. is good at that. Like just like our CIP, how U.S. is top on it, right. Understanding, Martinez, with understanding, our this corruption, they can pick it up through the Bank of America. So they picked him up, and he was sanctioned. But I'm surprised that this guy, only 3 months, Garfield, he came on board in the politics. 3 months, yeah, 3 months.
Whoa.
And the man did amazing.
Yeah, because he outed the opposition to APNU.
This is what happened now. You see, Region 10, Garfield, I used to live in Linden. Yeah. Linden is a stronghold for the APNU, or was PNC before. That's a stronghold. They was win 80-90% of the votes in Linden,
So
Mackenzie,
Region 10 is
those
Linden.
areas. Linden.
Where's Bobby's?
That's highway.
Bobby's is where? Linden.
Bobby's is going to Suriname.
Oh.
Bobby's is going to Suriname, Naikiri, and Guyana and so where a lot of St. Lucians are, Yeah, French Guyana, that's Bobby's. While Demar is in the middle, right? And the other side going to Essequibo, like to Venezuela side, that's Essequibo.
Okay.
That's where Venezuela want to reclaim, some of the land, some dispute they're having. So what actually Win did is that he defeated the APNU, and actually the APNU last time they got about 3. They have 10 geographical region in Ghana, 10. Presently, according to preliminary result, the PBC had 1. They actually got 8. And Win has 0-2. Imagine APNU, which actually was a government, not last election, but the election before. They were in the power, and they only got, according to the accusation, only about 11 seats in Guyana. While Win may have about 18, and the PBC may have 36. It's 65 assembly, 65 in total.
Oh, 65.
So can you imagine that? 65. So Win will have 18 seats. That's a record. A little boy cannot even speak properly, so he doesn't have proper education, but he was a businessman, Garfield. They had a lot of business in Ghana. Stores, lumber, you name it. And they had cambios where they used to exchange US, for Ghana dollars and all. So they were good businessmen, It's just like in St. Lucia.
Yeah.
We have this guy, Reno, if you know Reno background. But he's a good businessman. He knows to make money. You see? Similarly, I believe if Reno run election in St. Lucia, he can win some seats, I think, because he's popular and he's doing well. I'm just, assuming. And then what happened in Region 4, later on what I mentioned. Region 4 is also a strong PNC or APNU. PPP won that. And in history of election, since British colonial rule, that was never won by PPP. Always APNU. And what happened now? PPP was able to win it because what has happened? Win make inroads into the stronghold and actually take away the APNU votes, and that allowed the PPP to win. PPP actually got the same amount of votes.
This is worth a study because this is serious stuff. A 3-month-old party doing so much damage.
This is a PhD. This is a PhD study. Yeah. They finished it, or can't really finish 11 seats, and they got 30 something last time. Just last election. And other thing is that the PNC APNU said, they didn't actually, if you look at the history, they didn't like the leader, Norton. They had wanted somebody else, and they had a lot of division. He goes bickering, rolling within the party, and that shows out in this election. They didn't support him. They didn't want him. A lot of this person left him, and some of them joined Win.
So
and even some of them.
So it means that caller, the APNU will have to do some soul searching and reflection, of course, and reorganize
a lot, and revamp the whole, revamp, and that will take some time. Maybe some young leaders and these, senior guys to take a rest, but they had a bickering in front. So generally, the election doesn't matter if what you were saying earlier, doesn't matter if the Win combine this seat and the APNU. That will be 18 and 11, there's only 29. And 29 and 36 will make the 65. So no way they can form the government.
If they come together, they just can't do it.
They cannot do it. They wouldn't get 29. And you must have 33 because of 65. That 33 will be a majority of 65. You see? So it doesn't matter what they do. And then, but the election was fair because the result is from today, and most of the observer team, the 16 that make up the 600, spread out through Ghana. I know Ghana is massive, 83,000 square miles. It's not easy to monitor. I see, actually now, 98% of those SOPs statement of poll from all the polling agents, and they were actually polling station 5,700 something in Garfield. 5,700 something people. So it's not easy to compile them and then bring them but they put it on the website and we have to collect it and things. Some was a little outstanding up to this afternoon, but 98%. So they are ready to declare officially, but not officially, but they're supposed to do it tonight or maybe early tomorrow officially. But that is very done. Yeah, tomorrow most likely.
But thank you so much for calling. I have another call.
Thank you, Roger. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Have a blessed evening. Have a blessed evening.
Thank you. All right, so that was a new caller there. We have some other calls coming in. Caller, you on the air, Caribbean American News Media Platform. Caller, you on the air. Good evening. How are you?
Hey, good night, sir.
Good night, sir. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. First time looking at the program.
Thank you for.
Thank you. I thought your previous caller, he made some good points, but I wanted to elaborate a little bit on some of the stuff, like especially on this guy Mohammed, so you can understand.
Yeah.
I know you actually doesn't really
That's
what yeah, so this guy came on the scene recently, right? Mm-hmm. I know he caused a lot of upset with this election, but the point is what you don't understand about this guy, he's a total criminal. He earned his money through defrauding the country, gold smuggling. His name was called in a murder. He abused a lot of people at his workplace.
So these are allegations, caller. Mm-hmm.
Yes, these are allegations. They are actually factual, but people never go behind him because he was not a politician and he was a close associate to the ruling party. And for some reason, he escaped the dragnet. He never been, been investigated and all these things until America started to go behind him for money laundering and smuggling. And what opened the can of worms for him? He bought a Lamborghini and he declared a false invoice.
Well, we saw something like that over in St. Lucia, but go ahead, caller.
Right. So when he declared a false invoice, he tried to implicate the president in it, that the president knows about it. But the president did not know that he was declaring a false invoice. Mm. And when America sanctioned, OFAC sanctioned him, and OFAC, the Treasury Department sent the original invoice, that Lamborghini was bought for something like somewhere around $690,000. $1 million. No, not a million, it's thousands. Sorry. And he expected the People Progressive Party to back him on that and stay by his side. But it has international implications to the country. So when the people back out and they had to take him off some of the projects and all these things he was doing, even one of the projects he was doing, ExxonMobil had to let him go because it was not going to be good for the company Exxon, so they let him go.
But what we know now, caller, is that the United States sanctioned Mr. Mohammed. He's sanctioned, and I'm believing that there are other individuals in Guyana from the PPP. It is who was sanctioned also.
Yes, there was one person there, a woman who was a permanent secretary. Mm-hmm. And she was relieved of her duty from the government because her name was mentioned in that thing, and she lost her job and she had to, back away. PPP had to break ties with her.
Okay, all right.
So this guy, somebody advised him to form a political party to run for election. Before that, he was given a little bit of assist with a little housing and thing and help the poor people and all of that, and people fall for that kind of bluff.
So
they follow him.
Doing some work in the communities.
Yes, he was doing a little good for one, two people. I mean, maybe he gives out about, I don't know the figure, but people saying about maybe 50 something odd houses and stuff and help people with financial difficulties and things. But what you got to understand, what people don't understand, you're not in government. Mm-hmm. You a philanthropist, you can do what you want to do with your money.
Yeah.
When you're a government, it's different. You cannot take the state money and just hand it out to every Tom, Dick, and Harry.
No.
People don't understand this. Mm-hmm. But the only reason this guy get that vote and get so far, he paid his way through. right? He paid his way through. He bought those votes. He bought 95% of those votes because
you can be assuming. Do you have evidence of what you're saying?
No, there are evidence for that. There are evidence for that. There are people who can come on TV and they were fighting and cussing and want to kill each other for their money because at some time in the deal they failed on the obligation to give the people their money, right?
But was he?
So
was
people
he
came out and talk about it.
Was he breaking any campaign laws?
Well, I really can't say whether Guyana has those laws where you cannot buy voters like that. I don't know. I'm really not.
Well,
so
you know what? This is something old. It has been happening for so long in politics in the region, where during elections a lot of money pass around. People try to, secure their votes. Yes, I know that. Yeah. But
that is the point I want to make. I don't want to stay too long. I know other people want to get on the call and things like that. Right. But listen, the reason why he got so many votes is because the money was paid out in a big way. People, he bought people tickets from Canada and America to go vote for him. And he kept a low profile. Listen, he kept a low profile. He kept a low profile campaign. He did not do the whole 9 yards, all those banners and go there with a lot of
and was
people
able to accomplish all this, huh? And he was still able to accomplish, what he accomplished by disrupting the
Yes, and still because he was running a social media campaign, and when nobody could get onto his page to rebut the lies he was telling against the government, But I think the government, I think I'm not saying the government, but the law should go after him after the dust is settled because the corruption is there and there are enough evidence that America has against him. I think right?
Oh, okay.
And what happened to, I'm going to tell you the last thing before I come off. The opposition miscalculate on what they did. They tried to keep a low profile on this guy. They did not one day in the campaign try to highlight the crime what this guy was doing.
So they did not go after him.
They were thinking, they did not go after him. So their plan was simply, you grab how much vote you can grab, see you can break the PPP stronghold, and we gonna don't say anything about you. We keep you low profile. Even the news, a lot of the news was not saying anything about this guy. Not a single word about this guy. Right? And they were hoping that they could garner enough vote on the other side and they could put it together and then it could come and they can defeat the PPP. But it backlash on them. That's why APNO, the PNC, they are PNC. Forget about what name they give themselves. They are the PNC. They get a backlash that they never expect. Because the people turn and they go for the money and they lose their status as an opposition party.
Wow.
They did not break. You look at it. They did not break the PPP stronghold.
No, they
took vote away from the opposition party.
Yeah, because
right?
the attack should have been, the PPP look like they're just standing on the side and allow, all the fighting and everything among these two people, these two groups. But I don't know what to say. But it is
no. You see, I know you may not understand Guyana politics in depth, right?
That's right.
But what happened? The opposition thought they would collate with this guy in a way, right? Let him go, break the PPP stronghold, and then if he can pick up a little 10, 15 seats,
right,
and they could pick up another 15, 20 seats, they could put it together, and PPP would be out of power, right?
Yeah.
But when they decided to talk about this guy, it was too late. The boat already gonna fall. It was too late because last week they started to talk about this guy, but it was very much too late for them.
Wow. So
he already buy these voters, already pay these voters billions of dollars he spent buying votes.
So
he run a smart campaign too.
Yeah.
He did not spend his money on the streets. He spent his money to buy the votes. You understand?
Yeah.
So that what happened to APNU. That's why they lose the status. The PNC lost the status, and it's hard for them to. I don't know how they're going to regroup and come again.
Well, political
and
parties
the opposition party, though, the PNC, they are negative, man. They are too negative. They are too racist. Too racist. They are not there talking about the general public. They talk about one set of people. The Afro, and the Afro, and the Afro. And the young population don't want to hear that now.
But what is the relationship between
They had progress.
What
The
is the
PPP
relationship
performed
between
exceedingly well
what is
in
the
this
relationship
last
between the
cycle.
Indians? What is the relationship between the Indians and the blacks in that country?
Well, when it's election time, the Indians and the black, they're at war because the politicians put them at war.
Wow.
And normally after election is finished, we will go back and eat from the same plate, you know.
Well, they got to be smarter than that, you know. Don't allow politicians.
Right. But what I have noticed this time, it wasn't for the big crossover of the African vote to the PPP, it would have been a different show in this election here. But I think this election showed that they could break away from the racist vote and go support a party that is producing for them, that is making their life comfortable. Right? No government is perfect in this world. But if you have a government that is showing progress and then look after your welfare and your well-being, and you can develop in an economy in a country, I think that is a big thing for everybody.
Yeah, thank you.
You could buy a vehicle, you can have money in the bank, you can have a house, and the PP party has exceeded all area of progress in that country. And this election after tomorrow, when they swear in and go again, Guyana is going to become a paradise. And I think it's going to be very, very difficult for any party to take power there for many, many years to come.
That sounds a little
because
scary.
We have the money. They have the money to go with, right?
Yeah, let's hope the democracy prevails in the nation, man. But thank you so much.
Well, the PPP Progressive Party has always been a democratic party. There's never been anything you could link them with undemocratic. Those talks are just talking points. They're just talking points. If you go back and study the history of the PPP party, you would see they are always on the side of democracy, right? They're always on the side of democracy. They will bring back democracy to Guyana with the Carter Center.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, thank you.
So, have a good night, sir. And
thanks for calling.
Keep watching your program.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks for calling.
All right, you're welcome. Yeah.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
All right, so that was our second call from Guyana. The lines are open, folks, for any of you to call in and share your opinion. Remember, it's just opinions. And while the caller made some open statements about Mr. Muhammad, there is basically no evidence. They sound like accusations. He was not fined in the court of law, of course, but the United States did sanction him for reasons that they found that was not kosher, of course. And America right now, they are just in every hole, watching stuff and trying to do what they got to do also to protect their country. I'm going to read your comments. I know that the show turned out to be a full discussion on the Guyana situation, which is rightfully so. We will go over to Jamaica for their elections too, but we're continuing to pray and to hope for the best for the great country, nation of Guyana. We are one people, and we look forward to calm, to tranquility, to unity, to the Guyanese people just, being the best that they can be. I can tell you in the last elections, it was not a nice scene at all. It looks like a democracy in shambles, actually, and it was drawn out in the courts. Maybe the courts, too, need to be blamed when it comes to election matters. I strongly believe that the courts need to act in time. They got to move they got to move with a certain speed in order to deal with campaign issues. Yep, they got to. I'm going to continue reading your comments. All right, so someone said people are so ungrateful and can't have anything given to you in 4 years. They are more the government have to do for the people. Because he paid youths money to buy them to turn on the APNU. Because the people in Region 4 they see the change in the region. The government take care with them and other regions too. When the APNU was there, what it does for the people's life are better now. Go and interview the people there and hear what they say. That person is a black person who called in and he speaks the truth. Guyana, one people, one nation, and one destiny. All righty. We continue to read your comments. They're coming in fast and furious. Someone said Dr. Ali is the best president so far. It is not his business. It's his father's business. I think they were speaking about Mr. Mohammed. Mr. Mohammed. All right, we continue over there. Carr says, who is that last caller? He linking PPP with democracy. So someone is saying that our last caller there is linking PPP with democracy. It sounds like they are saying no, that's not the case in Guyana. They're disagreeing with the last caller. Someone says, that man just like Richard Frederick, the people love corruption. And he says, Muhammad is like Pablo. All right, so let's go over to our YouTube family and see what our YouTube families are saying. You already said, Mr. Garfi, you have a bold-faced lie on your program. Someone is saying, Bamboo is saying, not true. I believe they're disagreeing with the last caller. Canada, welcome to the platform. Canada is in the house. Somebody's asking who win in Guyana. There is no official statement from GCOM on the... there is no declaration, rather, from GCOM as yet, so we cannot comment on a win or a lose at this time. Sorry about that, caller. All right, so we have here, someone says that person is a PPP racist. All right, we got another message here. Good night. Afro-Guyanese have been treated badly by the East Indians for decades. At a PPP rally, the Attorney General called Kofi, our hero, a black house slave. Well, those are not words we use towards our people, black house slaves. We got to be careful. Sometimes we use racist slurs very loosely, and it shows division in the country, and it retards the progress of any country. So remember this, whether you're Indian, whether you're black or white, you're human beings, you're people, and none is more superior than the other as far as I'm concerned. One people, of course, and we gotta understand that we are not all born, the same, with the same complexion or anything else, but you guys are one people. You're Guyanese together, and you need to acknowledge that. So some of the racist slurs need to tone down. We need to stop this racist type of agenda. It does not help the development of any country at all. None at all. And it should not be tolerated in any nation, of course. More comments are coming in. You have to be on the ground to understand Guyana political culture. It is ridiculous. I will never vote in Guyana. The East Indians slapped the Afro-Guyanese with a lot of racist remarks. Okay, so this person is venting there, and the platform is for that, for all people to be heard, whatever tribe, whatever nation you're from, all right? So feel free to share your opinion. And I'm happy that nobody's being disrespectful to each other, but we're able to have a discussion, a needed discussion in the region when it comes to one people and not all this group and that group and my group and your group. And when my government comes in, I victimize this group. I fire these because they're not part of my group. And all this type of stuff need to stop for the sake of humanity, friends. We must have some humanity in us, all right? All right, so we have some other remarks coming in here quickly. I am mixed race and hate being a Guyanese. No, don't hate being who you are. Love who you are. Love your country. Be proud of your country. Yes, there's a lot of work to be done in all these countries. A whole lot of work need to be done, but you stand tall and be proud of your nation. And by the way, don't be shy in speaking of the issues that are impacting the development, the growth of your country. All right, so we have a lot of comments here. The only party that pays for votes is the PPC. I think the PPC is the same PPP, who is in government now at this time. Someone says, oh my God, that's a lie. That's a lie about slaves. Oh my, it's sad because so many East Indians married to blacks, and we need to stop this racist talk. Yes, we need to, because, you know, as I said earlier, people are people. There is no need for all this color talk or tribe talk. All human beings are equal, okay? Someone says over there, that's not true. The African people are more racist against Indians. I experienced that in Guyana. I have lots of African in my family. When you say Africans, because Africans are not all black, you know, my friend. So when you say you have African in your family, you're saying you have a lot of colored people, black people in your family. You call them Afro-Guyanese in Guyana, yes. That is good, you know. But to each its own. All right, so thank you so much, my Guyanese friends, for being here with us. I have some other matters quickly that I want to take on pertaining to the country of St. Lucia. We will follow the developments there in Guyana. The lines are still open. If anybody want to call, feel free to call in. All right. Again, number is 99561821. Now, MSR Media with Mr. Martinez and the MSR group, they are back in the news again. Now, the St. Lucians and the Antiguans and Dominicans and Grenadians would understand what I am talking about here. So remember, we had the MSR, the RICO lawsuit that was filed against Galaxy and some other, and St. Kitts and Nevis, of course. And the lawsuit was to be expanded to some government ministers. We know what happened to the lawsuit. It was withdrawn, and Mr. Martinez and the MSR people took a different route to deal with this whole CIP situation. It is back in the news. Hold a minute, we're going to take this call. It's back in the news. Caribbean American News Media Platform. Caller, you're on the air.
Yes, good night, Mr. Gaffel. How are you doing?
Yes, sir. How are you, my friend?
I'm good, Brother Gaffel. Now, I heard some callers calling and talk about Mr. Mohammed.
Yeah.
And they level all the bad things about Mohammed. But the PPP and all those government, different political parties you spoke about, has been there for eons. Remember that?
Yep.
For a very long time. And this man, and he's not out of nowhere, The man's father was a businessman that made billions, and it was the same government, just like the St. Lucia Labour Party said many things about Richard Frederick. It was the president now, and this man was very, very good friends. They fell out because the man brought down a Lamborghini, and all the man thing was in check because he has money. If you go around Guyana and you follow the campaign like I did, the man been helping thousands and thousands of people, not just through just talk and little government contracts there. Actually building house, buying boat engines, giving people hope through different sponsors. It's not just his money. There's many people behind him. You understand? So when you realize the situation where you're saying, all right, this man has been, and this man did that less than 4 months, but that's what we saw.
Yeah.
But we haven't seen the work before the hard work, the day and night, the sleepless nights that he has been doing in the background. Because remember, before people see your success, people that didn't see the way you basically going for the hardship so you can achieve that success. You understand? They just seen the end result. So my point is, my brother, you spoke of in Jamaica. I believe in Jamaica, he might win. He and not by a big margin.
No.
Because it's the same thing in Jamaica that what is happening in St. Lucia. All the roads, all the ports have been built by the Chinese and different foreign companies we don't know about, just like GPH and all those different things. In St. Vincent, where I've gone, I want to talk about Alan Shastney, this and that and that and that. The man been there for eons. Watch the state of St. Vincent. I even heard allegedly the port they are building, some parts of the port is already sinking because of incompetence and all the cost overrun and those different things.
Yeah, he had to advance some monies, some more. He had to get some more monies that was voted for to be used next year. He had to advance it to this year. You're right. There was a problem with the port in Kingstown, St. Vincent.
Exactly. Now, just to go back home just for a little while, and I just want to make it clear is that the St. Lucia Labour Party under Kenny Anthony from when he won the election, 16-1, and he came about with affirmative action and brought in all types of Labour Party supporters to fill out all different ministries and different corridors of power in government. So it's basically like you were saying, the marginalized, and now you want all the different marginalized. You have to give those people jobs. And that's what he did. But the situation is that he caused was a dependency type of economics, which we've seen the end result of it today. So you remember when I talked to you, people haven't seen the work you have been doing in the background. But the work Kenny Anthony and the St. Lucia Party has been doing in the background is the end result we are getting today under Philip J.P. administration. The disaster, the total mess. And you see, the thing is, I watched the Jamaican election, and there was this particular speaker, Rastaman, and the Prime Minister, Andrew Holness, have 28 different accounts, similar to, what's his name, NFL. This one has 5 buses, and he's saying it on the platform. When they get into power, all those guys have to be jailed. And he said they're going to set up a tribunal, they're going to do all what it has to be. So I'm asking myself, with all the allegations that has been leveled under this Philip J.P. administration, from selling our prime land in Banan for $2 million, and if you see how ugly that big badge is there in the middle of Castries, that big old Reno badge. I love Reno, but that badge is not supposed to be there in the middle of Castries in our prime harbor like that. You understand? Below the market price. When you have a man saying that he's going to build condos in Calisac and then change it and say he's going to build it in Bosses or wherever, and turn around and build it in the Marisol, in the Gap to go in Jama, build condos for itself. And you have the Dickinson saga with all the millions of dollars you have acquired with land and all those different things. You have the situation, they change Joaquin, and then they change what's her name? This woman from Bawono. And it's all in a quest to stay in power, to keep the status quo. And the status quo is destruction, high cost of living, we have one more point I want to bring on Gaffel. We have a situation where we have there's an article, if you can go on maybe Solution Times and look it up, that's stating that in 10 years, if our population do not increase, we're going to have a major population reduction, and also it is going to threaten the threshold for people that paying taxes, the NIC for paying pension. So in other words, they will not have enough people to generate taxes to pay pensions while we're selling our passports to different countries, people we do not know, and then 10 generations, 3 generations after, they'll have the right to vote, and they'll have more people than the solution people. It is a disaster. And the only way we can change it right now is calling on all solutions, whether you're in Japan, wherever you may roam, come home. I don't care if you do not like Arnold Schwarzenegger as a person, but respect the man policies. I respect the United Workers policies and what they stand for, because it is the United Workers Party that built Lucia. And that is something we must always remember. Kenny Anthony came in 1997. He just went out in 2005. I believe St. Lucia should end this chapter by removing the entire St. Lucia Labour Party out of power, so that we can end the Kenny Anthony era and usher in a new era with sustainable economy where everybody can thrive, and our land and our patrimony will return to us, the Lucians. Because when you sell our passports and you sell our ports and you sell all those different things, what are you leaving for the youth like myself that are coming? Because all you people are going on to retirement in the next 10 to 15 years. It is us that coming with no land, no inheritance from our families, and we have to see how many different people from all over the world buying massive parcels of land, SLP members and the hierarchy of the SLP owning massive plots of land. They never work for that. So what's about us? Have a blessed one, my brother.
Yeah, thank you so much, my friend. That was one of our favorite callers from the island of St. Lucia. So I was speaking to you about the MSR lawsuit that was filed against Galaxy. Now, there's some breaking news development. I'm here to announce to you that the MSR media, Mr. Philip Martinez, has won in the courts, have won in the federal court of New York a request for information from a chartered bank in New York, the New York branch. So let me just pull that document up for proof. So the whole Galaxy lawsuit with Mr. Martinez is not over. It's not the end of it. And here is a United States District Court, that is the Southern District of New York. It is application for Philip Martinez. And it is an application that is dated, it was filed on the 2nd of September. And that is to obtain information authorizing for discovery. And so they were cleared to receive documents, I believe bank statements, from a chartered bank in New York, the New York branch. All right? And so we look forward to getting some updates at some point from Mr. Martinez on that matter. We have a statement here from the Guyanese, one of the Guyanese party, that is the WIN party. We invest in nationhood. And this is the press release released earlier today. Press release. GCOM is the sole authority empowered to issue the final election results. We therefore urge our supporters to remain patient as GCOM continues the official tabulation process and prepares to deliver the official announcement, the official announcement, and that is from the Win Party. Now let's just take in, well, I think we're waiting for a signal from that platform. Let's see if we can reload that. It was a press conference earlier today from the APNU. So let's go over to the APNU. Let's see if we can find some information there for our brothers in Guyana. And that is from the APNU. Bear with us as we get it up on our main system. All right, I believe it is up. It's reloading. Okay, so we got to reload again. Is that it? We got to keep reloading. I believe that we got to go back. Okay, so we won't be able to get that. Okay, I believe, do we have it? Okay, so we're having some issues there with the, now there's a video out. This is for St. Lucia again. This is for St. Lucia. I think we need to discuss this for a minute before we close the show. The Minister of Housing made some statements, that's in St. Lucia, of course, made some statements in the last House sitting concerning evidence that was stored, based on what he's saying, I quote, evidence that was stored at the old custody suite in Castries, St. Lucia, that was destroyed, that was demolished for a new building that would have gone up there. He basically, and I would want you to hear for yourself, of course, and I want you to also hear his excuse for what he said, almost blaming the United Workers' Party government for destroying a building with people in it, and people had to run. This statement was made, I believe, at the last sitting of the House. Let's go over to a report from DBS, Miriam Montoute. All right, so we're not hearing it clearly. Is it muted or something?
And Kimberly DeLeo.
A few weeks running into the elections, I am instructed that police officers were at work when windows began dismantling, air conditions were taken, wires were pulled off, and it was only then they got a call from the commissioner that you vacate immediately. And so, Mr. Speaker, they were all going like mad fowls because there were prisoners in custody. The first thing was to secure the prisoners. And I could tell you, the exhibit room was in that building, Mr. Speaker. So when they talk about evidence disappearing, Mr. Speaker, ask the leader of the opposition, ask the then commissioner, where were those exhibits kept?
Frederick says that he is unable to verify whether the missing exhibits were kept at custody suites. A recent article by a news outlet, the Daily Post, quotes a police source as saying that the missing evidence was found in View Fort.
I ask questions in the House. I ask, isn't it possible that basically, that was the general context, the haste with which the police had to leave custody suites? There were officers working at the time when they were asked to vacate. They just saw windows being removed, air conditions being disconnected, excavators right there waiting, and they had to leave in a hurry.
Frederick stated that his comments were meant to highlight the lack of proper protocol, specifically at the speed at which officers had to vacate the premises, and were not intended to place blame on anyone.
Because if we are asked to vacate here now, within 3 minutes, rest assured, none of you can take all your belongings or things, or even if they ask for an empty room, things will be left behind, given the short time within which we are asked to vacate. And that was the context in which I alluded to the demolition of custody suites.
For the DBS News World, Miri. In this pre-cabinet press briefing, Castries Central MP Richard Frederick clarified that his previous statement about missing evidence in the House of Assembly was not in reference to the police investigations involving Shakadan Daniel and Kimberly DeLeo.
A few weeks running into the elections, I am instructed that police officers were at work when windows began dismantling. Air conditions were taken. Why?
So let me just stop this for a while. Folks, I don't believe this, honestly. I'm having a hard time believing this this rhetoric from a government minister. I think this, I would say, it's irresponsible, one, from the government of St. Lucia. A whole lot of people were thrown under the bus by this statement. It was not just a political party. You're talking about the leadership of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. You're talking about ministries that are responsible for these type of things, implementing projects and all. You know how it is, the bureaucracy of government. This government minister said to the people that the police were in the building. The people had their stuff in the building. Nothing was removed based on what he's saying. It sounds like. Somebody will have to guide me. And that the excavators just came and started. Windows started being removed by people. And then the police got a call to vacate quickly. The building is going down, vacate quickly. So you would think that the normal procedure in the demolition of a property is to ensure that the property is vacant. Now that's for any old buildings, of course. You make sure there's no homeless people living there. There's no zombies. There is no child playing hide and seek in the building. So you, a responsible contractor or backhoe operator who is destroying a building would want to ensure that the building is checked and it is empty. Now let's talk about custody suite. You would want to ensure that there is no prisoners there in the holding cells. The phones and the electricity are disconnected. You would want to ensure that all computers and water fountains and chairs and desks and files are removed from that building before any demolition. But you would think that any government minister would resist from talking foolishness in the nation's house. And I would say to you that there is just something about the universe that you, because sometimes of bitterness, anger, and hatred, sometimes you outdo yourself to the point where you have nothing to say, but you are still talking. Now, when you get to that stage, a number of things happen. We call it, in certain sectors of the world, verbal diarrhea, where you lost control and you just keep going and going and going and going and going, sometimes until somebody stops you or pull you up and say to you, "Sir, ma'am, you are speaking nonsense." But this government minister in the St. Lucia government just kept going and going and going and going and make you believe, and by the way, there are supporters of this individual who would clap and say, "Yes, it's true, it's true. It's true, yes, they break it down," and people wasn't running for their life. Even the rats in the building was running for their lives. And you would believe such a story. There are people who will believe that story. But I'm not having it here. I don't believe it. When you are demolishing a building, especially a government building or a hospital or a holding cell, you want to ensure that Lucia disconnects the electricity. You want to ensure that there is no water. So I'm going to ask the government minister, of course, a number of questions. Sir, based on what you're saying, did we not have running water in that building? So you mean you had the prisoners in humane conditions? Inhumane conditions? No running water, which means that there is no toilet? Did you have a latrine? A pit toilet at custody suite? I'm just asking. Were there not electricity? What were you using? Candles? A flabo? A lantern for electricity? So there was no electricity and there's no water in custody suite. So the tobacco came and just took custody suite away while police are running for their lives. And this is what the people got to go through on a daily basis with a government that should be responsible enough to control themselves in what they put out in the society. This was total garbage. This was total nonsense. And I make no apologies for calling this nastiness out. And by the way, when you go after people who are decent, people who have not done you anything, and you're constantly in their throats, this is what happens. You start saying things. You become so insane, you start saying things that you yourself don't even know what you're saying. And the Honorable Alan Shastney and the opposition listened. They watch you run over this ridiculous cliff that you built for yourself just to accuse the United Workers' Party of being irresponsible. That's what you were doing. And the subject at hand was two sets of evidence. Evidence that was stored in View Fort and nowhere in Castries. You were saying to us that evidence was being stored in a holding cell because custody suite was designed to be a holding cell, like you, the St. Lucia Labour Party government, will say to St. Lucia that we had to carry, even the Prime Minister, the police had to drive prisoners up the morn and let them go, take them for a ride and let them go. So what was custody suite? Could you explain? Was it a holding cell / armory, storage of evidence? Is that what it is? Is that what it was? But you can almost assure the citizens, of course, sir, that evidence was being stored in custody suites. And maybe evidence was being held there. Maybe evidence was being stored there. But we later found out that the evidence was stored in containers and not at custody suite. I'm going to play back this tape. And I know that it is garbage you're hearing, of course. But permit me to dump just a little bit of garbage. Let me just allow me to dump a little bit of garbage for your consumption, of course, sorry to say. But listen to what I consider to be garbage. At a time where we are discussing evidence disappearing from the police based on what they told us, it wasn't an allegation, someone said it down the road, you know. The police told us that they did not have 2 sets of important evidence in their possession. They don't know where it is. They told us that. And we started asking the questions. Then you came to tell us, could it be that it was at Custody Suite and was destroyed? That's what you told us. And then you tried to spin it. But we got you. So listen.
Briefing, Castries Central MP Richard Frederick clarified that his previous statement about missing evidence in the House of Assembly was not in reference to the police investigations involving Shakadan Daniel and Kimberly DeLeo.
A few weeks running into the elections, I am instructed that police officers were at work when windows began dismantling, air conditions were taken, wires were pulled off, and it was only then they got a call from the commissioner that you vacate immediately. And so, Mr. Speaker, they were all going like mad fowls because there were prisoners in custody. The first thing was to secure the prisoners. And I could tell you the exhibit room was in that building, Mr. Speaker. So when they talk about evidence disappearing, Mr. Speaker, ask the leader of the opposition, ask the then commissioner, where were those exhibits kept?
Frederick says that he is unable to verify whether the missing exhibits were kept at Custody Suites. A recent article by a news outlet, the Daily Post, quotes a police source as saying that the missing evidence was found in View Fort.
I ask questions in the House. I ask, isn't it possible that basically, that was the general context, the haste with which the police had to leave Custody Suites?
That's a very good question.
There were officers working at the time when they were asked to vacate. They just saw windows being removed, air conditions being disconnected, excavators right there waiting, and they had to leave in a hurry.
Frederick stated that his comments were meant to highlight the lack of proper protocol, specifically at the speed at which officers had to vacate the premises, and were not intended to place blame on anyone.
Because if we are asked to vacate here now, within 3 minutes, rest assured, none of you can take all your blame.
That's not necessary right now, but there you have it. There you have it, folks. There you have it. You make a decision for yourself, and I want you to look at the Win party in Guyana. 3-month-old party were able to form together and was able to do a lot of damage. These people have been underestimating Mr. Shasney and the United Workers' Party for a very long time. And they're not learning. And they believe by talking loud and saying negatives over and over again, that it's going to make him look like what they want, how they want him to look. But the people in the region are awakened, they are watching, they're paying attention to what you are saying and what you're not saying. And they will not be fooled this time. And that's what I can say to you. Here is what's loading solutions.
For the justice, we need to work it. For the culture, we need to work it. We are heading up to the top. There's no time for us to stop. Let me hear you, oh God. Let's keep working. Let me keep working. For the justice, we need to work it. For the culture, we need to work it. We are heading up to the top. There's no time for us to stop. Let me hear you, oh God. Let's keep working.
Right, so that is the promotion for the 7th, the United Workers' Party National Public Meeting, Sunday, 7th of September, 2020. 25. Now, this is the event that was postponed for last month in the Boulevard. Now it's going to be in as far as I'm concerned, in a better area, of course, Miku. And so all of that is at the Miku playing field. Of course, I'm sure you will get parking, you will have enough space and everything else there. National Public Meeting, Sunday, 7th of September 2025. That is the United Workers' Party. Let's keep working. My glasses falling off my face, folks. Well, how did that happen? Let's keep working. Now, I want to congratulate the caucuses in the diaspora for there are a lot of events in the diaspora, I must say. The United Workers' Party was very active here in New York. That is last weekend. Now, I was out, of course. I came back on Monday and went to assist with one of the events, of course. But I want to congratulate them for their hard work and dedication to keeping the flower alight in the different. I want to encourage the caucuses throughout the entire world to stand tall, represent your party with respect, with humility, with purpose, and with understanding. The caucus, they represent something bigger than you and I independently or individually. It is about a collective cause, and not your cause and not my cause. It is our cause. And I'm asking, because something happened to me last weekend that I was not so happy about. But I am not going to correct it here. But all I'm saying, folks, is stand tall, stand united, and let's get this government off of the backs of the citizens of the country. We can get all our medical care and all our security and everything else, but there are families who are going through hell just with basic cancer treatment and diabetes treatment and their high blood pressure treatment. Some people go through a tremendous storm to achieve that. Do not add extra pressure on the workers on the ground. Let us stop handing them distraction. Let us join in the vision. It is time to end anything that appears to be nastiness. United the people stand, and divided they fall. But stand strong. Stand tall. Be counted for, and ensure that your names are on the books, because a majority of people who are fighting and making roro, they're not even sure where they're going to vote. They're not even sure. They have not checked. And very soon we'll be having an event in Brooklyn to help you identify where you're going to vote, to ensure that you're on the list. We got to do these things. We got to do these things. We got to ensure, and that's where all our energy should be placed on, to ensure that every voter is accounted for on the United Workers' Party side. That no voter is going to stay home, that no one will have any excuse. No, sir. So I'm calling for national unity around the diaspora, that is England, Texas, New York, Connecticut, Canada. All the caucuses around the globe must come together and send a very strong signal that you are engaged, you are ready, you understand the issues, you're ready to commit your time and your effort to the cause. No one at the end of this process, when the bell is called, must look back and say that all I was doing is talking, I was not engaged. All I was doing is row. All I was doing was making calls to disrespect others. No. At the end of it, we can look back and say we have fought a good fight. We did what we have to do. And we are now here on the eve of a victory. And we are celebrating. Huh? Yes, celebrating. But this is no time for nastiness. It's time for you. These issues are bigger than us. And in some instances, it's a matter of life and death for some. Yeah? Yes, it is. It's about medicine. It's about our security. It's about the cost of living. It's about gas prices. It's about our elderlies. It's about better homes. The freedom to travel to either Europe or the United States or Canada. Those are the issues that many St. Lucians will get their gripes from. We should never distract them with petty, childish nastiness. Who you like and who you don't like. I say to you, grow up or grow out. And that's what I leave with you tonight. Grow up or grow out. That's it. But I want to thank all my Guyanese friends, all 900 of you who came onto YouTube. Thank you so much, my Guyanese brothers and friends, for being here with us tonight, sharing the experience tonight with us. I was happy I was able to spend some time with you over there in Guyana. I also met some new friends, of course, who sent me beautiful messages on our chat and beautiful encouragement from my Guyanese people. And I plan to take your advice and continue to do my follow-up based on these beautiful messages of love and appreciation for the platform. All right? And I told you I have a lot of Guyanese friends. I eat a lot of Guyanese food up here, you know. Yes, a lot of Guyanese friends, man. They turned me into a Guyanese, you know. And every time, everybody I meet, are you from Bobby's? You know, Linden. We're from Linden. We're from Bachelor Adventure. Anyway, I'm going to read some of your posts and then I'm going to take a break because I was out from Thursday and I was sleeping under the trees. We were sleeping in tents. We were cooking on wood, on coals in the bush, and it was a beautiful experience, of course. And when you're at camp, you don't get the best. Sometimes you don't get the best of sleep. During the night, it was some nights it was freezing. You know, but we had such a beautiful time in the bush of New York. It was upstate. It was just a pleasant experience. All right. I'm going to read your comments and then we shall leave. All right. Hippolyte. That SLP is crying under the line. Please, be. Oh, there is an SLP crying under the line. You need a shoulder to lean on. Like the song says, lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. So lean on us, SLP. We're right here for you. Lean under the live. Pogat cow. All right, so let's see here. They love to listen to our show. That's beautiful. Dr. Fletcher's there. Greetings to you, my friend. Kathy, you need to tell me why the past few shows you're wearing. Doc, I call you one of these. I call you by the grace of God. And Roger says, so what you doing there? Okay, responding to somebody. We'll get there. Who cares? Nonsense. And Johnny says, I am still voting for the star. But Johnny, let me say something to you, Johnny. Nobody stops you from doing what you're doing, voting for the star. You know, that's your right. I'm not sure why you're saying that here, like somebody's telling you don't vote for the star. Duh. You are free. It's a democracy. And maybe you need to check yourself. You might be insecure if you're coming here to say you voted for the star. It sounds like you did you get a snapshot of a poll or something? Did you feel the wind of change or something? Why would you come over here, Johnny, to tell us you voted for the star? Bro, you can vote for the stone if you want. That's your problem. What can I say? Somebody say good night. Johnny says. So, Johnny says again, why don't you go to St. Vincent? So I'm glad that you asked that, Johnny. I can go anywhere I want. I'm not sure I need an invitation from you. And I'm not even sure if that's your business anyhow. Why don't you go to St. Vincent? I am not banned from St. Vincent, blacklist from there. I can go to Guyana, St. Vincent, Dominica, as far as I'm concerned. So I'm not even sure what you're saying to me. So I would think that you would want to be a little clearer and stop writing maybe like a preschooler and say what you want to say. Why don't I go to St. Vincent? What's there? What do you want me to go for? Is there roast breadfruit and something festival going on? Let me know, Mr. Johnny. Let's read one more. We still voting for the star. PJP, we love you. I wasn't expecting you to hate him. Duh. So, Johnny, man, come on. Grow up in your writing. That's not nice. Insecure. Fletcher says because he is fearful, desperate, spot on. Yes. Why would you leave your comfort and come over? You can find a whole set of platforms to suit your agenda, your taste bud. But you come here where your taste bud cannot be tickled. And you tell me to why I don't go to St. Vincent. I'm not doing any trip. I know I have some trips booked, but I am not. I mean, why do you want my agenda for, sir? Sometimes we got to grow up as adults and maybe check ourselves. As you get older, you know, there's certain things you want to just, you know, there's a saying in the Bible, when I'm a man, I think like a man. When I'm a child, I do childish things. You know what the Bible says? Now that you've become a man, of course, you put away childish things. So, Johnny, come on. Put that away. Put your toys away, Johnny. Wash your feet and wash your face and go to your bed. Say a prayer, please. Not this childish thing at 10 o'clock in the night. Come on. And Johnny, if you pass 40, you need to spend a little more time in prayer and supplication, talking to your Heavenly Father. Come on. Make your call in an election sure. You come under the live to do what? To be funny? Come on. Come on, man. Come on, Mike. You can do much better than that, buddy. Grow up. Put away your toys. By the way, charge your phone. But now it says, Christopher, I am voting for Alan Chastney and the UWP, of course. Yeah, Steven says, Johnny, be good tonight, lol. Peter Tosh. Oh boy. Anyway, folks, keep the faith. I saw something on is it Sheldon, where they're trying to tie something around Guy Joseph's neck. They're trying everything. There's nothing new under the sun, folks. So let not your heart be troubled. Go out there, be your best. Love a little more and care a little more. Help your neighbor if they need that help, friends. Be good. Be a good citizen. Be respectful. Be kind. Be affectionate one to the other. Life is short, friends. All of us must account at some point in our lives. Bonjour. Good night. I'm out, folks. Blessings.
For the justice, we need to work it. For the culture, we need to work it. We